Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life, won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it
Welcome to Making It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, but with other people. And this time around, I have, I don't always say senkitishian, because I'm not even sure if that's the correct terminology. But Chantelle, what is it? Senkitishian?
Kitishan.
There we go. So how come I just drop the sent part? Anyway, so it's Kitishan?
Right.
Right. I have a Kitishan with me. So she's from St. Kitts, Chantelle, Rochester. She is a writer for SKN Newsline, which is in St. Kitts, and a budding public relations officer. Welcome, Chantelle.
Hi, Miss Daly. Thank you for having me.
So this topic was specifically created just for Chantelle. Now, the topic is, how can the concept of personal branding encourage healthy relationships? So first of all, before we get into that, Chantelle, what is personal branding?
Well, personal branding is the maintenance of yourself, not only your image, but who you associate with, your likes, your dislikes, self-awareness. It encapsulates a plethora of aspects of your life. So, in a nutshell, that's what it is.
Okay. All right. So how then can all of that encourage healthy relationships?
Well, the question is healthy relationships with what or with whom, right? But if we're talking about a healthy relationship with ourselves, because it starts with us, we have to look at who we are. We have to figure out who we are as individuals. So it means that we need to be very self-aware. It speaks to self-awareness, self-care, self-motivation, what we like, what we dislike. When persons think about us, what do we want them to think of us? When persons, who we are aligned with, who we align our brand with, and stuff like that. When it comes to self-branding, when you start with yourself, all that is included. Now, when we move from ourselves now and we go outside, we look at who we associate ourselves with. So the power of association comes into play here, because when persons think about us, we want them to think about a specific thing per se. Like for me, when persons think about me, I want them to think about writing or public relation officer, branding, motivational speaker, stuff like that. So in that case, with that in mind, for me, I have understand that I need to network and align myself with entities or with persons who will help my brand in that aspect. So that is where the relationship aspect come in, where network is regarded. And when we network, we understand that we're not just networking for ourselves, we're networking to help other brands as well. Because if we go, other brands go, and the relationship will be healthy and, we go together. Yeah. So in a nutshell, that's how it goes.
You said earlier, because of course you started the whole idea of self. You said who we are, whole idea of self-awareness, self-care. The whole idea of self-care is foreign to some of us. Tell us a little bit about that, or elaborate on that a little bit more.
Well, it begins...
One second, because when people think self-care, they might think that it is that you're encouraging me to be selfish.
Oh, no, not at all. It begins with knowing yourself, knowing what you like, knowing your limits, because sometimes we go through life and because we are so busy, we get caught up in our work and things that we have to do. We run ourselves right down to the ground. We end up getting sick. We end up being drained, and we wonder, why is that? And that's where self-care comes in. When you're feeling drained, simple things like taking a shower, reading a book, relaxing, taking a walk, watching a movie, things like that, all that encompasses self-care. And I think that many persons don't take the time out to do simple things like this in their day-to-day life. but it's important. And I do hope that, others are listening to this podcast, others are encouraged to practice more self-care. And it doesn't mean that you have to be selfish. No. You need to take even an hour out of every day for yourself, time to reflect on your day, time to get spiritual, speak with God, pray, have your little devotion, do a little self-assessment, and it will not only help us spiritually, it will help us mentally, physically, socially, and all the alleys.
I can relate because I had a health scare recently because I was walking, and I'm in the habit of walking briskly, and I realized that my legs felt a little weak, and I went to my office for a bit and was leaving, and I almost felt like I was about to fall down.
Oh, wow.
So I held on to the wall for a bit, and I had to go somewhere, and luckily a friend was able to take me. And once I returned, I said, my body's telling me something. Had work to do. I left work. I went home to rest. I didn't sleep, but I realized that even just lying in my bed for a couple hours, I actually felt much better. So you are absolutely right. It is important. So you said that we have to start, the whole idea of personal brand, you have to start with self.
Right.
So now that we've taken care of self, what next?
Next is networking. Healthy networking, that is.
Okay.
Once we understand our personal brand, when we go out, we have to align ourselves with individuals, with entities that will help us. And we too should not be selfish and just think about what they can do for us, but also think about what we can do for their brand as well. So it goes hand in hand.
Okay. Self, networking, anything else?
Well, I think for me, because I'm doing personal branding right now, that's where I am at. So I still have a lot to learn on that part, but that's where I'm at. And I think that if once we start there, we're on the healthy and a right track.
Okay.
So.
Speak now on your personal relationships. Do you think this branding, personal or rebranding journey that you're on, how is this then impacting on your relationships? And do you think it is then helping you to have healthier relationships?
Yes, it is, because I've realized that certain things that I was interested in or certain things that I was aligning myself with, where I'm going, it's not healthy. It's not taking me where I'm going. So I had to cut a lot of things, and then I had to change some idiosyncrasies and, develop different habits to mold me into the person or the individual that I'm trying to become. And the thing with personal branding too is that you're going to lose friends.
I'm about to ask that, but go ahead.
You are going to lose friends, and you are going to learn things about yourself, and you're going to learn things about others. And also, on this journey, you have to be open-minded, because a lot of the things that you believe in or a lot of the things that you hold dear, you're going to get a different perspective on them. And what was it? A second part?
I'm just saying, on this journey that you're on, how is it helping you to have healthier relationships?
Well, for one, knowing what I want and getting a better understanding of who I am. I know now how to choose the people who I associate with, and how to categorize individuals in my life as well. Because I did a presentation on the power of association, and I did it in the form of a house. You're familiar. And the foundation had all the characteristics that I would look for in an individual, like honesty, integrity, stuff like that. And I too had to look within myself and, try to figure out if I too possess these qualities. And then I had my kitchen. I put persons in there who fed me spiritually, fed me mentally, and stuff like that. And then we went through the hallway and we went to the entertainment section. How do I entertain myself? The friends that entertain me, and And then we went to the library for wisdom. How do I educate myself? What do I listen to? What do I look at? The kind of conversations I have with friends. Is it all about gossip? I have to, if that was the case, I knew I had to let go of that. And then we went to the bedroom, which was the heart of the house. And I had to, put persons in there who I know I can count and definitely count on, and they too can count on me. And then we went to the computer room and I look at my social media life. How is that branded? What do I post? How do I post? What do I like? What do I share? And stuff like that. And the things that I'm being tagged in and the things that I tag people in. So, so it was it's a whole journey. It's a journey that I am on, and I'm actually enjoying it. I'm still learning, and you don't have to be a public relation officer to do personal branding. I think anybody and everybody should do personal branding, because it makes you aware of who you are as an individual, and I feel like a lot of persons don't know who they are and what they like. They tend to follow the trends and the idiosyncrasies of other persons. But if you know who you are and what you like, and who you are genuinely and what you genuinely like, I feel like it will, your career choices would be better. Whatever path you take in life would be better and much easier, because you know who you are, you know what you're about, and you too would be better able to impart knowledge and to help someone else along the way.
If somebody's listening and they're saying, this all sounds well and good, you're obviously an educated woman. I'm sitting and I'm listening, I'm going, this is all above me. This all sounds so heavy and so theoretical. What is your response? And how can you then say to the man on the street or somebody who's listening saying, how do I do this on a practical level?
Oh, well, let me first say it's hard. Okay. It is hard. Think about yourself breaking a habit. It's that hard. But you have to love yourself enough to know that you want to be better. You have to love yourself enough to know that you want to make that change. As I said before, you don't have to be a big shot in order to do personal branding. You can be a vendor on the street. You can be sweeping the drain. But anything that you're interested in or involved in, you want to do it to the best of your ability, and it starts with you. So it means that if I'm going to be sweeping the drain, I want to be the best drain sweeper or custodial worker, whatever you call it, there is. So which means that I'm going to make sure that I take care of myself internally. I get proper rest. I eat well. I take time out for myself. So when I go out there and I'm sweeping, I take pride in what I do. And if somebody should pass me, I should be able to greet them with a lovely good morning, good afternoon, whatever, and a lovely smile, because energy, and you share energy. You share your energy. So you don't have to be a big shot to do personal branding. It's a decision. It's a personal decision to want to do better. It's you looking within yourself and saying, when persons look at me or when persons think of me, what do I want them to think about?
I was about to ask to sum it up, and you just did that. But any final words you want to share as we're wrapping up?
Well, I think I've said a lot, but just to reiterate, anybody can engage in personal branding, and it is something that is needed. Everybody brands themselves differently. So the way I brand myself will not be the way you brand yourself. And my branding journey, as I call it, will not be your branding journey. And my chapter 20 in my branding journey may be your chapter 1. And you cannot look at my chapter 20 and, look at my chapter 20 and compare your chapter 1 with my chapter 20. Because, it's your personal journey. And just like how your walk with Christ is a personal thing,
That's right.
It's the same thing with you branding yourself. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Chantelle. You've said a lot. It's a lot to digest. So I'm sure my listeners are saying, this is one of those shows where you're going, Yeah. But thank you so much. It's
You're
really
welcome.
about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, with other people. This was Making It Last. I'm your host, Noreen Daly. Until next time.
Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers,